What is up, guys? Ben Reviews It. Today we are getting personal. This is my 1997 Toyota Avalon XLS, and this has a 3-liter V6. So I'm going to show you guys around the car real fast, and I'll tell you what, I need to get the headlights updated so don't make fun of me. I got some of the yellowing. We're going to try to sand and buff those out, or we might just replace them. And also, too, I have to get new wheels for this. I want to get a setup that's nice, maybe like an all matte black or something. Now you do have your badging in the back, Avalon XLS, your Toyota logo, and then they had to put Toyota on the left hand side on the driver's side because they wanted you to know, even though it says Toyota here, they had to give you the little notice there that's saying, hey man, this is a Toyota. Avalon is in big lettering, and that XLS badge kind of just a little smaller than everything else. Now this car has like a pull for the gas cap, which I'm okay with. It sucks if they break, but what's really cool about this, and a lot of people don't know this about cars, take your gas cap, undo your gas cap, and there you guys go. Okay, it's 2023. People should know this about cars. Yes, the Toyota Avalon XLS holds your gas cap, and then you just take it off, you put it back in, and you screw it back in, you're good to go. Okay, I like how they decided to put on the back here, especially for the 90s. This was common, unleaded fuel only, which is really cool. Pops in really nice and locks up really nice. Now what's cool about this car, and don't mind the all full spare tire, that's a whole new story, but what I love about this car is the fact that it is 4 doors, has a lot of room, has great gas mileage, and this engine is unbeatable. And why I say that, it's not a K28, it's not a 3800 from Buick, no, it's the V6 3004 cam 24. Yes, it's a 3000, but horsepower wise, 200 horsepower right off the rip, front wheel drive, and it gets 21 to 31 miles per gallon. Also too, what is really cool about this car is the fact that it's not hard to fix. So if you guys look here, you see where you have your air intake, right? And as you look at that, you're like, well, damn, that looks kind of confusing if you're not used to cars and stuff like that. But this is a car guy's dream. There's so much room behind that engine on both sides, okay? And I like to point that out because for a 6-cylinder, there's a lot of room, right? Sideways, it's nice. There's actually a decent amount of room for your belts, everything like that. So it's not going to be super, super hard to get to. Now, I think they could have had a little more room, but the way that they have it mapped out works out pretty great for what I've had to do. I've replaced the EGR so far in this because, it being from 97, it had the original EGR system. So then I replaced that, and now we have to do the knock sensor because one of the knock sensors went out. But the nice thing about Toyota as well is the car has not hit limp mode since that knock sensor came on. So I haven't had any issues with the transmission. I haven't had any issues with it locking me out and ghosting me. I did have one issue where the alarm system came on, which I think is just like a Toyota thing because I know the older models used to have a problem with that. Now, everything in this is heavy duty though. I mean, even the motor for your windshield wipers is massive, okay? And when I first looked at it, I was like, damn, there's a little starter right there. No, that's a windshield wipe motor. And what's funny is, like, people may laugh and say, well, I can't believe you thought that was a starter. I mean, look at it, dude. Look at it. It's huge, okay? It's huge to be on a car like this. Now, another cool thing that I like about Toyota is the fact that we have a hydraulic hood. And I know that may not seem like a lot, but in the 90s, in the 80s, in the 70s, hydraulic hoods weren't really something that was all too common entirely. I mean, you could have it, but it wasn't something that you may see that was noticeably there. It wasn't very, very common. And it started becoming more common in the, late 70s, early 80s. But as time went on, certain people, manufacturers wanted to save money and cost. And you would have, just have to prop it up or something. But this is absolutely nice. They decided in 97 that they were going to go with this. And it's probably because the early 2000s were coming up. So they're like, you know what, we're going to get with the times and we're going to do this. Now, another great thing that I love about Toyota as well, we have a 3-screw system for the struts. Why that is so important to me and I love it so much is because if I go to replace the struts, these are coilovers, it's easier to get this out, right? You have such a big bay area for that strut to sit in, and it's honestly it'd be pretty easy to get up in there. I mean, it's a massive well in there, and you can put your hand in there and feel like it just goes straight into that well up there, which is really, really nice. So if you're going to upgrade this, you know, tune it up, put some new struts or coilovers, if you're going to lower it, whatnot, you got a lot of room right there to be able to do that. Now, another great thing about this car as well is the fact that every oil, every fluid that you need is pretty much right here. And they decided to kind of put it all on like one side. So you have your washer fluid for your window, coolant, power steering fluid. And like that's right there. They're all right there. Now you do have obviously your input for your engine oil and then your brake cylinder oil, which is fine. I mean, obviously those two being separate is kind of cool. But then what's really weird that doesn't make sense to me is if you guys pay attention to this guy here is for your brake system. This is your brake system. This is the divider, okay? But over here is your brakes. So your master cylinder, your slave cylinder is right there. Your reservoir is right there. You come down, you have the splitter, and then it comes all the way over here. And here you also have a splitter, which is crazy. Now I will say I've had some issues with the brakes. I think this system might be getting old because I know this pushes pressure out and it like builds it better, but it's just not doing a great job. So we're probably gonna have to replace that as well. Now, another great thing that I love about the 97 Avalon is the fact that you have a transmission dipstick. So if you want to see what your transmission's like, you just pull up and there you go, which a lot of cars are getting rid of nowadays. So, you know, thankfully this car has it, and thankfully Toyota thought about doing that with this one. Now, another thing that I love about this vehicle as well is the fact that Toyota decided to do a sideways V6, which is absolutely fine. We don't have that straight six. You know, we don't have where you get to look at the V straight down. But if you want to change the oil filter is right there. I mean, you're going to burn yourself a little bit if the car is hot, obviously, but it's easy to access. It is going to get on some stuff, but there's nothing super important underneath it. Now, what I love about this car as well is the XLS is considered like the luxury limited trim series, and it does come with a sunroof, moonroof split. You can tilt that up for ventilation if you have the windows down in the summertime. You just kind of want a draft to come up and out. Open it all the way, open it halfway, which I do not recommend. If you're scared of airplanes, don't open that halfway or like a quarter way, because that thing sounds like you're flying, which is kind of cool when you got the dubstep going and, you know, you're hauling ass down the road, but it's just not recommended if you have a fear of that. Now, another nice thing too that I like about Toyota is the fact that if you're out somewhere and you're wanting to get in the car, the driver's side and the passenger side are the only ones with the keys. So if you want to unlock the doors, you have to go driver's side or passenger side. And I like that because they're so close. They're relatively close. I mean, there's only about maybe 2.5 feet, not even that, between the door handles. So just reaching over and unlocking, it's fine. Now, but why I like this so much is because instead of having 4 locks on 4 doors, which saves you money, honestly, like if you only have 2 on 2 doors, it saves you a lot of money if you need to replace those. But what's really cool about it is when you go to unlock the passenger side, it unlocks all the doors. So it doesn't unlock like just one, it unlocks them all. So if I go up and I go to lock my door, you guys can see over there on the driver's side that the door is now locked. If I unlock this, now the back door opens. Now, why I'm talking about that and why that's important too is because if you have a Toyota Avalon, you'll notice when you unlock the driver's side, it only unlocks the driver's side. I think this is a safety thing. Like if you're the only person driving the car and you don't want to unlock all the doors, maybe you're trying to get away from somebody, I don't know, the mafia, who knows, you know. The rest of the doors stay locked. Nobody can jump in as you go to drive off. Now I am going to open these doors. I apologize for the car being a little dirty. I do have kids and I work a lot, so it is a little messy. It's not as bad as it could be, but you have these really nice leather seats, and this feels like actual leather. I don't think this is fake. And then also too, you have this really nice darker color of like khaki. So I would say like the seats are like a brownish khaki, and then like you have a darker khaki up there, which is really nice. And that kind of is implemented on the doors as well. So you have like a three-tone situation, maybe four if you want to look at like the little fasteners there. But then you also have a wood accent on the door as well. Now, I will say this, when I got this car, I decided to go, and there was wood trim everywhere. It was like stick-on vinyl, and I took it off, and you guys can actually see it right here. I left it on the back doors, so if I ever make a video, you guys can see what I'm talking about. It's like this faux wood, and it doesn't look bad at all. You know, it's on the ashtray door, and it's down here, you know, around it and stuff, and it's around the button. And then, you know, you got this plastic faux wood, which is on every single door, which I kind of like. It's darker, it's more classier to the 90s. But that sticker wood, that sticker vinyl is just not something that I enjoy. Now, there's a lot of room in the back as well. You could fit about 3 people, adult-wise, 4 people if they're kids. But obviously my youngest has taken over the back seat. Now, I'm going to show you guys the trunk. It's dirty as well, but I'm going to show you guys the capacity that this trunk has, because it's absolutely massive. So when you come to the trunk, there's no special like lift system. You just unlock and then you lift yourself. But the trunk is massive, and it goes all the way through, and you can actually see like where the seats would come down. I have yet to put the seats down, but I'm okay with that. Now, I don't know what this is like right here. If anybody can tell me that is used to Toyota Avalons, I don't know what that is there. But overall, it's super, super nice. A lot of room, especially if you have kids. It'd be a great car. Now I'm going to show you guys the inside of the vehicle. We'll be right back. Okay, 6'5" and a half, getting in a Toyota Avalon. Excuse my breathing, I'm fat. But I'm going to show you guys around. Now, there's a decent amount of space, okay? This is my feet. These are my legs, all the way out. Now, I am underneath the pedal right now for the gas, if you guys can see that. I'm not sure if it's going to focus. There we go. So, I wear size 20 shoes. I completely hide that gas pedal. It's very small. The brake pedal is pretty much gone as well. There is no, like, slightly going back and forth for me. I could try, but I've gotten caught up like this, and I haven't been able to stop. So we're not going to do that. Big guys, just watch out. Now, what I really like is that you have your auto for the driver. You do not have auto for any of the other windows, which kind of sucks, but that's okay. You do have all power windows though, and then you also have your window lock and your electronic lock for all the doors. Now, up here on the dash area, you have your left and right for your mirror, and then you also have your parking brake right here. And then as well, you have your ventilation opening and closing system or knob there. And then this here, which I know a lot of you guys may not understand what this is if you don't have an older car, if you've never drove a car that's older. This is for your dash lights. So this makes it brighter. If I go like this, it's all the way up. If I go down, it's where I want it to be, right? So it's a little lighter. Now, right underneath here, you have track off. And then you also have your adjuster for your steering wheel, which is really nice. Now, this is not an in and out steering wheel. This is not, a multi-pivot. It goes up, it goes down. I don't think it goes in or out. Nope. So it's not telescopic. You have your turn signal right here. You have your lights. You have auto. You have runnings. And then, you just have fogs. And then if you want to, you can flip it forward and there's your brights. You also have your cruise control, which is really nice to have. and then you have your stock for your windshield wipers, and then press this and it'll clean your windshields as well. Now, another cool thing that I love about this car is the fact, and it's a little dirty, I apologize, but the fact that this car has a knock sensor issue and is now at 148,000 miles. I got this car at 132,000. It's the original parts from 97, so that's why the knock sensor's out. But it's still running strong. It's been really great to me. And what I also like about this car as well is I don't have to turn the car on to see how much gas I have, which I think is something that we should bring back. A lot of cars, they have to like turn off, then you turn it on. It calculates how much gas is within the tank, and then it tells you, and it gives you a percentage, or it moves the bar up, which I really don't like. And when I start this, it stays where it's at. And it tells me, hey, you got a quarter of a tank, you need to go get gas, dummy, don't drive far. Now, what I also like is the fact that we do have your tack. So your RPM gauge is right there, and our red line is 6,100, which is a little weird, and I'll explain why that's a little weird, but it's actually really cool as well. Now we're going to come over here to the infotainment system, and I'm going to show you guys some stuff that I have to turn the car on for. So we're going to put our key in one-handed, holding a phone at the same time. All right, so we got some stuff lighting up, and then you see it as well, there's a screen up here. I'm going to explain this screen to you guys momentarily, and then we're going to come down here and I'm going to show you guys everything that I love about down here. First off, if you guys notice, there's only about 3 to 4 lights up there, and now there's 5. Well, why this is because this has ECT, which is electronically controlled timing. Because this is front wheel drive, it doesn't have all wheel drive, it's not rear wheel drive. They wanted you to be able to drive this in the snow. It snows here in America in a lot of places. It snows in Japan. This obviously is something that you would need for front wheel drive, which is really cool. So what this means for ECT, if you're driving, you're trying to get traction, you're in first gear. First gear is going to bottom out at 1,500 RPMs. It's going to shift over into second. Second's going to build up maybe about 2,500 to 3,000 RPMs and then shift out. What this does is electronically control the timing. So instead of 1,500 in first, it's going to be like 3,000 to 3,500, and then it'll shift. The reason that is because it takes longer to build up that power, so you have better traction in the snow. You have your outside temp, which is really nice. For the 90s, this was really cool. We had it in the 80s, we had some in the 70s, and in the 60s, some had it as well. Now, this is more digital, which back in the day, you know, we had it earlier than this, but it was more of like a gauge that sat outside of the car, but I like this way more. You also have your clock up there, which I believe that's wrong currently. But you also have your hour and your minute, and then you can zero it out completely. Now, what I love about this car is it kind of just transitions down. You have one screen up there. You know, it also shows you your security if anything's wrong with that. But when you come down here, you notice there's 2 different systems, and the radio's on right now.
COVID-19 can keep you on.
So you guys can hear about COVID-19. We're going to turn that off. You have your cassette player, which is really nice to have. And then also too, you have options 1 through 6. So they give you a different array of stations and stuff like that. AM, FM, you have your tape button for your cassette, rewind and forward. You also have bass and treble. So you just push that and you turn it whichever way you want. Absolutely awesome. Now you do get like a 1 by 3 inch screen right here, which is funny too because this is Dolby. So this system's actually not that bad. Now I will say the speakers need upgraded. They're very old, don't sound the greatest, but they do the trick. What I love about this as well is something that you guys have not seen in forever. And a lot of you young kids, if you watch my videos, you probably don't know what this is, but this is a CD cassette. No, this is not just your standard cassette tape disc where you put in up here where it says anti-theft. This is where you put 3 CDs in the sleeve, and what you do is you just go in, you push it, and there you go. So to turn this on, what you're going to do is you're going to come down, you're going to hit power, and you're going to hit CD. So what this does is brings this whole tray out. It's got a special little arm right here, and obviously this car is dirty, but as you guys can see, this is what will happen when you hit CD. So what it's doing is trying to see where the CD's at in the system. Now this doesn't have any CDs at all, so then it'll eject it, And then what it'll do is say, hey, you know, put some CDs in me. So we're going to put this back in. We're going to leave that off. But what's really cool as well is the fact that you have another screen down here. So to tell you what time in the song you're at and what track you are. You can repeat, you can scan, and you can press random. So this will just go through whatever, you know, CD you're playing at that time. Now you can also hit this button. It will change the disc out, and then your track, which is really, really cool. Now another great thing is they decided to put over here your buttons for which way you want to get your air. This is recirculating, so this is coming straight from that engine and it's getting pushed in. You're going to get heat way faster. This is outside ventilation, so if I turn this on, it's going to kick that fan on and it's going to push a lot of air from outside into the cab. Now why this is good is because if you're having car issues, because every car guy and car enthusiast has car issues, you're going to smell stuff from your car, and you don't want the outside air to affect your smell. Because if you're smelling for oil or for gas in your own car, having it on exterior air input, you're going to have all those fumes and all those other carbons and everything that are coming from other vehicles. You're going to smell that. You also have your AC button down here, which is really nice. It kicks on instantly, and then you have your back window heater, which is nice as well. Now below here you have 65, 75, and 85, and that's pretty much all the temp goes to. What's funny though is if you take it all the way down here, that's like 60. You take it all the way up here and it's 90. So it gets pretty hot. I like to keep it between 75 and 85. It seems to get really, really hot just there. So I've had it at 90 and it gets sweltering in here, which is good because wintertime, but nonetheless, keep it where it is. You have all your other options as well, and these do light up. So every single little emblem here lights up during the nighttime. You can, you know, see it when you're driving and stuff like that. It's way easier. You're not distracted. You're not turning the map lights on or anything like that. You have auto over here, which just goes and, you know, it's like any other heater, any other car that has auto for its ventilation system and its heat system. It'll go and it'll look at like how hot it is and cold it is, and it'll turn it on and off and stuff like that. And then you have low, you have average, medium, and high. Now, another cool thing about this car is you come down here, you have a 12 volt or cigarette lighter, and then you have your ashtray. You have a little area to hold stuff down here, and then coming down, you also have it here where your gear selector is. You have a little like pen holder there. And what's really cool is in the 90s, they decided to put a lockout. So here you can actually punch this little piece out that I'm pointing to. And what it does is it allows you to put the car in neutral. So if you're going to tow it, or you got to get it on a tow truck or behind an RV, that helps a lot. Now you do have your glove box over here, and you have pockets in the doors as well, which is just a single standard pocket on each side, which is not too bad. Then you have your little breakaway panel for the airbag and your ventilation system over there. Now the passenger does not get as much as the driver gets. They have a simple up and down window, and then they have the lock button as well, which just works for their door. Now you do get two visors. Each visor has what looks like a mirror. Now, I don't think these are for the XLS. To be honest with you, I think these are for the XLs, because the XLS did come with a mirror that was installed. It should have map lights as well, but this one is old. It's kind of showing its age here. Just getting undressed for you. But this is just plastic on each side. So if you have one of these, your girlfriend's not going to be too happy because she can't do her makeup. Now what's really cool too is standard on a lot of vehicles, which they're kind of getting away from because of the electric cameras that they have in the back of cars now that are hooked up to the rear view mirror. You also have a deflector, which you just push this up and you can still see traffic behind you, but what's going to happen is it kind of, you know, shadows the traffic so you don't get blinded. Now, for the sunroof I was telling you guys about, all you do is tilt up, and that opens that for ventilation, and then you're going to slide it. Now, like I said, this stops halfway. So that's all the way open. It's very nice, very big. This covers majority of the seat. So I want to say like right here to all the way over here. Now when you go to close it, they want to know for sure that you're going to make that option. So as you close it, it goes halfway. Keep closing. Comes up where it needs to. Very durable plastic, it seems. This seems like it was built really well. And then you also have your cover again. Now you also have some lights back here as well, which we have them off for now, but you can turn them on when the doors open, or you can just have them on constantly. I keep them off. You also have map lights up here, which are really cool as well. They don't do bad at all, which is nice. That though is the realm of the Toyota Avalon. And I hope you guys liked the video. Soon more reviews will come. I apologize, it was so weird. It's been a while since I've done a video. I'm a little rusty, but I appreciate you guys watching, and I hope you guys like this content. Next, I'm going to do a video talking about why the Toyota Avalon is so slept on and why a lot of people don't like it, but why they should. So I hope you guys have a blessed day, and thank you for looking at Ben Reviews It yet again.